When the wind is howling at 50 miles per hour and your power's been out for 3 straight days, survival isn't about crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. It's about the decisions you made before the storm ever hit. The brutal ice storm that crushed New England in January 2024 was a wake-up call for thousands of families who thought they were prepared. They huddled in freezing homes, watching their emergency plans crumble as gear failed and supplies ran out. Here's the hard truth. When the grid fails and the cold creeps in, will your emergency kit actually save you, or will it fail when you need it most? The 2024 ice storm taught us something critical. Candles, cheap mylar blankets, and gear that only works in theory, they're not enough, not even close. Today, I'm breaking down 20 field-tested survival items that kept families alive during the worst winter blackouts of the year. Many of these are under $30, and all of them are proven to work in extreme cold. These aren't theoretical gadgets you find on some prepper blog. These are the tools that actually worked when everything else failed. Welcome to Food Fixer, where we prepare you for the worst so you can handle anything life throws at you. If you want to protect your family when the next storm hits, hit that like button and subscribe, because the lessons we're covering today could genuinely save your life. Let's dive in. Most people think they're ready for a winter blackout. They've got some candles in a drawer, maybe a couple of those shiny mylar blankets from Amazon, and a flashlight that probably needs new batteries. But here's what happened in 2024. Those disposable hand warmers everyone relies on, completely useless below -10 degrees Fahrenheit. They lasted a few hours at best before becoming expensive pocket trash. Those mylar blankets everyone swears by, they tear if you look at them wrong, and worse, they trap moisture against your skin, which actually accelerates heat loss. People were colder with them than without them. If your emergency plan depends on electricity that's gone or fuel that runs out after a few hours, you're not prepared. You're gambling. And in a winter blackout, the house always wins that bet. The families who made it through comfortably had one thing in common: redundancy. They had backup systems for their backup systems. Multiple ways to create heat, multiple ways to purify water, multiple sources of light and food. When one solution failed, another was ready to go. So what separates real survival gear from expensive junk? 3 things. First, it has to work reliably in extreme cold. Not just cold, but the kind of temperatures that make your eyelashes freeze. Second, it needs to be versatile enough to solve multiple problems. And third, it has to be field tested. Not rated for cold weather, not designed for outdoor use, actually tested by real people in real winter blackouts. The 20 items I'm about to show you meet all 3 criteria, and they're organized around your critical survival needs: heat, water, shelter, food, and tools. Let's start with what kills first in a winter blackout: the cold. Your first line of defense against hypothermia isn't a massive propane heater or a wood-burning stove. It's something you can hold in your hand. Forget those disposable hand warmers you see at the checkout counter. They're a waste of money. What you need are phase-change thermal pads, like the Zippo Heat Bank. These things are rechargeable, reusable, and they work reliably down to -20 degrees Fahrenheit. Consumer Reports found they keep your core body temperature 2 to 3 degrees higher than air-activated warmers. It might not sound like much, but when you're trying to sleep through a freezing night, those 2 degrees are the difference between rest and misery. These pads pump out steady heat at 130 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 12 hours. Here's how you use them. Wrap one in cloth and tuck it into your sleeping bag near your chest. Your core stays warm, your extremities stay warm. Need to thaw a frozen water bottle? 15 minutes next to one of these and you're good to go. Pair it with a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank and you can recharge it multiple times. Pro tip, keep that power bank in your inner jacket pocket. Power banks hate the cold and stop working if they freeze. These thermal pads cost around $25 and they're worth every penny. Now for heating a room, you need something bigger. The MH Heater 9BX is a catalytic propane heater that's CSA and ANSI certified for indoor use. That certification matters because most portable heaters will kill you if you use them inside. This one won't because it has a built-in oxygen depletion sensor that shuts it off before carbon monoxide builds up. It cranks out 4,000 to 9,000 BTUs, which is enough to keep a 200 square foot room at 60 degrees for 6 to 12 hours on a single 1-pound propane tank. If you need it to run longer, connect it to a 20-pound tank with a hose adapter. Here's the safety protocol, and this is non-negotiable. Always place the heater on a non-flammable surface. Always crack a window for ventilation. Always run a battery-powered carbon monoxide detector in the same room. And don't wait until the storm is already here to buy propane. When blackouts hit, propane runs out fast. Stock up early.
This heater costs around $80. Here's something you probably never thought about. Wool dryer balls. Yeah, the things you throw in the dryer to reduce static. They're survival gold. Wool acts like a thermal battery. It holds heat and radiates it for hours without needing electricity or fuel. Unlike rocks or bricks which crack or lose heat quickly, wool is resilient and holds warmth 3 times longer. Here's how you use them. Heat them near a safe heat source, your propane heater, a fire, whatever you've got. Then wrap them in a sock and tuck them into your sleeping bag or near your feet. They'll keep you warm all night. Do not microwave them unless they're specifically labeled as microwave safe. You can grab a set for under $11. Cheapest item on this list and one of the most effective. You can survive 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. In a winter blackout, clean water becomes a serious problem fast. Your pipes freeze, your stored water might be contaminated, and here's the kicker. Most water purification tablets don't work in freezing temperatures. They're designed for temperate climates, and below 50 degrees, they're worthless. That's where portable aqua chlorine dioxide tablets come in. These work down to 32 degrees Fahrenheit. They kill viruses, bacteria, and protozoa in as little as 4 hours, and you don't waste fuel boiling water. Treat melted snow, treat questionable water from any source, and you're good. Add some drink mix powder to mask the chemical taste. $12 for 50 tablets. Standard water containers crack in the cold. Plastic becomes brittle, rigid bottles burst when the water inside freezes and expands. The Hydropack Seeker 4 liter solves this problem with flexible silicone construction. When the water freezes, the container expands with it instead of shattering. It survives multiple freeze-thaw cycles without failing. Fill it about 3/4 full to allow room for expansion. Rinse it monthly with vinegar to prevent biofilm buildup. $25, and it'll outlast a dozen cheap water bottles. Now let's talk about staying warm while you sleep. Those flimsy mylar blankets are garbage. What you need is the SOL Escape Light Bivy. This isn't a blanket, it's a durable, sewn sleeping bag liner that reflects 90% of your body heat back at you. It adds 10 to 15 degrees of warmth to whatever sleeping setup you already have. The US Army labs tested this thing and it works. Layer it over your sleeping bag or pile it on top of your blankets. It packs down smaller than a water bottle and weighs almost nothing. Roll it gently when you're putting it away to avoid micro tears. $30. Your feet are ground zero for hypothermia. When your feet get cold, your entire body follows. Cotton socks are useless when wet. Synthetic socks are better, but they still don't compare to merino wool. Smart Wool HD heavy cushion socks are 100% merino wool. They regulate temperature, wick moisture away from your skin, and they keep working even when wet. They provide 40% more warmth than synthetic alternatives. Wear them to bed, layer them under your boots, and keep a spare pair in your emergency kit. $26 per pair. Worth it. Fire is life in a blackout, but butane lighters freeze solid below 20 degrees. You flick them and nothing happens. UCO stormproof matches solve this problem. These matches will light in rain, in snow, and 80-mile-per-hour winds. They burn for 15 seconds each. And here's the crazy part. You can submerge them in water, pull them out, and they'll relight. Keep them in a waterproof case. For extra insurance, dip the tips in melted candle wax. $7 for 25 matches. Most people think they need light to see. That's true, but light does something else that's just as important. It reduces stress. When you're sitting in the dark for days, morale collapses. Kids get scared, adults get irritable, and clear thinking goes out the window. The Night Eyes Radiant Lantern provides warm, adjustable light for 72 hours on a single charge. It's been tested down to negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit, and it keeps working. The soft, warm light helps people sleep better and stay calm. Recharge it via USB-C when you have power. $25. Gas generators are loud, expensive, and deadly if you run them indoors. The fumes will kill you. But you still need power for medical devices, communication gear, and charging your lights. The BioLite Base Charge 1500 is a lithium iron phosphate power station. It's completely silent and safe for indoor use. It'll power critical devices for days. Pair it with a solar panel and you've got renewable energy as long as the sun's out. It's heavy and expensive, $1,200 to $1,400, but if you or someone in your family depends on powered medical equipment, this isn't optional. It's life or death. When propane runs out and your firewood is too wet to burn, you need a backup cooking fuel. Esbit solid fuel tablets burn hot and steady, boiling water in 8 minutes even at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. They're lightweight, non-toxic, and shelf-stable for decades. Store them in a waterproof tin and use them in a folding camp stove or even a tuna can with holes punched in it. $13 for 24 tablets. Wet wood is useless.
smolders, fills your shelter with smoke, and barely produces heat. The Weber charcoal chimney starter uses convection to ignite charcoal quickly and efficiently, even at 10 degrees Fahrenheit without lighter fluid. Load it with newspaper and charcoal, light it up, and you've got clean, hot coals in minutes. Use it outdoors only. $23. Cold drinks force your body to burn extra calories just to warm them up. In a survival situation, you can't afford to waste energy. The Thermos Stainless King 1.8-liter thermos keeps liquids hot for over 24 hours. Fill it with broth, tea, or hot cocoa at the start of the day, and you've got hot hydration and comfort without constantly reheating. The wide mouth makes it easy to clean. $39. Thin ceramic mugs lose heat in minutes, and they can burn your hands. The Yeti Rambler 20-ounce tumbler has double-wall vacuum insulation that keeps drinks hot for over 6 hours. The exterior stays cool to the touch, so you won't burn yourself. It's durable enough to survive being dropped on frozen ground. Get one for each person in your household and pre-fill them before the storm hits. $30 each. Cold stress increases your calorie needs by up to 30%. Your body burns more fuel just trying to stay warm. Cliff Builder protein bars in peanut butter flavor pack 20 grams of protein, 280 calories, and 9 grams of fat. They provide sustained energy, they don't freeze solid like other bars, and they have a 12-month shelf life. Eat one every 4 to 5 hours during a blackout. Keep them in your pantry and your emergency bin. About $1.50 per bar. Adaptability is survival. The Leatherman Signal multi-tool packs 19 tools into one compact unit. Pliers, a saw, a ferrocerium fire starter rod, an emergency whistle, and a hammer pommel. The ferro rod works down to -40 degrees Fahrenheit when everything else fails. The whistle is loud enough for rescue signals. This is the kind of tool that solves problems you didn't even know you'd have. Keep it in your go bag or glove compartment. $120. Plastic utensils snap in the cold. You're trying to eat a hot meal and your spoon breaks in half. The Gerber Gear folding spork and knife set is stainless steel, durable down to -40 degrees. It's lightweight, compact, and includes a bottle opener. Keep one in your kitchen and one in your emergency kit. $15. When you seal up rooms to conserve heat, moisture builds up fast. Condensation on windows, damp air, mold growing in corners. Damp-rid moisture absorber passively pulls moisture from the air without needing power. It improves air quality and reduces mold risk by 70%. Place it in sealed rooms and replace the refills every 45 to 60 days. $10 for the container and refills. Here's the thing about all this gear. It's worthless if you don't know how to use it. The 2024 ice storm proved that hope is not a strategy. The families who did well weren't the ones with the most expensive gear. They were the ones who'd actually tested their equipment before the crisis hit. They knew how to light their heaters safely, how to purify water, how to layer their thermal gear for maximum warmth. They'd practiced in safe conditions, so they weren't figuring it out in the dark with numb fingers. Stock up before the storm. When the weather forecast starts screaming about ice and wind, it's already too late. The shelves will be empty. Propane will be gone. Batteries will be sold out. Buy your gear now while you're calm and thinking clearly. Rotate your supplies regularly. Check expiration dates on your purification tablets. Make sure your batteries still hold a charge. Replace anything that's degraded. And here's something people don't talk about enough: morale. Small comforts make a huge difference in a crisis. A pair of warm wool socks, a hot cup of tea from your thermos, the soft glow of a lantern instead of harsh LED light. These things reduce stress, help you sleep, and keep you thinking clearly. When you're calm, you make better decisions. When you're panicking in the cold and dark, you make mistakes. Mistakes in a winter blackout can be fatal. Every item in your kit should serve a purpose, work in extreme cold, and offer redundancy. Don't depend on one heat source. Have 3. Don't depend on one way to purify water. Have 2 backups. Layer your defenses against the cold, and when one system fails, another catches you. That's how you survive, not with one perfect solution, but multiple good ones working together. Winter blackouts don't give second chances. The difference between suffering through it and sleeping through the storm comes down to preparation. The right gear, tested skills, and layered redundancy across all your survival needs. Don't wait for the next ice storm to find out your emergency kit doesn't actually work. If this video helped you rethink your emergency plan, smash that like button and subscribe to Food Fixer for more survival strategies that actually work. Drop a comment below. What's the one item in your emergency kit you trust most, or the one you just realized you're missing? I want to hear from you. Stay prepared, stay warm, and stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next one.